Hello students, welcome to Narayana online class. Today we are going to discuss topic thermal properties of matters. So let's start the discussion. The curve that represent the relation between the Celsius and Fahrenheit scale. So you have to just tell which of the following curve represent the relation between Celsius and Fahrenheit. My dear students, we know the relation between Celsius and Fahrenheit. C can be written as 5 by 9 F minus 32. So if you see here, we are getting 5 by 9 F minus this. So this will become mx plus c. Okay, this will become some mx plus c, this k constant. So this is in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. Okay, so we get this will be minus. So we get, what we get here? We get a relation that positive slope and negative, we have a positive slope here and negative intercept, right? So from this option we can easily check which one of see here, if you check, we can get which one of the following is positive slope and negative intercept. So C will be the answer of this one. So let's move to the next one now. The pressure of a gas filled in a bulb at constant volume gas thermometer is 0 degree and 100 degree are this. You have to find, student, what will be the temperature of the bulb which is 35 centimeter from this one. So we know that T can be written as Pt minus Po by P dash minus Po. This is the formula which we can write into 100. This is the formula which we write. So if you see here, for the Pt value it will be 35 minus 35, and if you see here, for 35 minus 28.6 by, we have 36.6 minus, just you have to substitute the value, student. Okay, so T, what we have to find, the temperature of the bulb when pressure. This is a relation for pressure gas filled thermometer. This is the temperature for pressure gas. This is the relation for temperature gas filled thermometer. So just substitute the values here. 35 minus 28.6, and here we have 36.8 minus 28.6 into 100. So if you simplify this, we are getting 80 degrees Celsius. That will be the answer of this question, student, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. A Fahrenheit thermometer registered 100 degree while a faulty thermometer registered 44. So there is a temperature of 100 degree Fahrenheit. It is measured by a faulty thermometer as 44 degree. You have to find what will be the error in the reading. So C will be 5 by 9 F minus 32, and here the temperature which is need to be measured is 100. So just substitute 100 minus 32 here. You will get C. This is my measured C, student. This is my measured C. And what was the observed value here? The observed value is 44. So what will be the error? Error will be observed minus measured value. Okay. So if you see this, if you simplify this, we are getting it. We are getting this value here. From here, if you take the difference, we will get the answer as 6.2, and that will be the required answer for this question, student, right? So this is how you have to proceed. Let's move to the next one. The coefficient of linear expansion of a crystal in one direction is alpha 1, and that in every direction perpendicular to this is alpha 2. You have to find the coefficient of cubical expansion here, student. So we know that V is equals to V naught 1 plus gamma delta T. Okay, and student, we can write this as L cube because it is having a crystal here, so we can write here L cube. L cube will be equals to this L naught 1 plus alpha delta T. This is for my length, and I can write here this For area it will be L naught square 1 plus alpha 2, that is the expansion for alpha 2 delta t, right student? So if you see here, if we multiply this here, L into L naught, this will become my L naught cube, and I can multiply here 1 plus alpha 1 delta t is multiplied here with 1 plus alpha 2 delta t. So this, if you multiply this is L cube, and if you equate with this one, this is the average coefficient of expansion which you need to get here. So from here, this is nothing but V cube, this is L cube is nothing but V, and L naught is nothing but V naught. Now we will simplify this and take in the form of 1 plus gamma delta t. From there we can just conclude the value of gamma. So if you simplify this here, student, we will get that 1 plus alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2 delta t. This is my required value here. So if you compare here, we will get that gamma is nothing but alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2. That is my required answer for this question. So from here I will get this is the correct answer, right? So this is how you have to proceed here. Let's move to the next one now. The moment of inertia of a thin uniform rod perpendicular to the bisector is I. So we know that for a moment of inertia perpendicular to the bisector, I can be written as ml square by 12. Now if the temperature of the rod is increased, student, so if this temperature of the rod is increased, so I dash, if I write the increased temperature, it will be m by 12. L can be written as L naught 1 plus alpha delta t whole square, right? This is what I can write. So this, if you simplify this, student, we can write here, this will be coming as 1 by 12 ml square, that is m L naught square. If I am taking the initial as L naught, this will be my I dash, this will be my I plus 1 by 12 ml square, right, 2 alpha delta t. This is what I will get. Okay, so this is coming to be nothing but I, and this will be coming as, this whole thing can be written as 2I alpha delta t. Okay, so from here what we are getting, I dash minus I is nothing but 2I alpha delta t. So this is my required answer, and from here I can just conclude that 2I alpha delta t is the correct option. So let's proceed to the next one here. A wire of length 60 centimeter is bent in a circle with a radius of gap is given as 1 centimeter, student. On heating it by 100 degree, we find that the gap increased to 1.02. You have to calculate the alpha here. So we know that alpha can be written as delta L by L delta T. Yes, delta L will be L alpha delta T. So from here I can write, now delta L, if you check here, from 1 centimeter it increased to 1.02. So delta L will be 0.02, L you know, and delta T you know. It will be changed of 100 degree. Yes, right? So this will be 100. So if you simplify this, we are getting it as 2 into 10 to power minus 4 per degree Celsius. That will be my alpha for the question, right, student? So let's move to the next one now. Here a rail track made up of steel have a length 10 meter is clamped on a railway line as shown in the figure. On summer day, due to rise in temperature, this by 20 degree it deformed like this. So if you see here, this is my L, this is my X. So if I draw it here, I can write it as L by 2. This whole length is L here, so this will be L by 2, and this is nothing but half L plus delta L, and this is my X. So if can I use the Pythagoras here, student? Yes, I can use. So X will be equals to half L plus delta L whole square minus L by 2 whole square. This is what I can write, student. So if you see here, L plus delta L L by 2. This is nothing but L by 2. So if you substitute here this L plus delta L, student, what we can write here, x will be coming as half into under root of L delta L, 2L delta L. Yes, delta L value you can substitute it, delta L value you can substitute the student here, the value. So x will be coming, just simplify this one, okay. If you want we can simplify it here. So let's see how we are going to simplify this. So if you see here, this will be half L square plus delta L whole square plus 2L delta L minus L by 2 whole square, okay. So this L square and L by 2 can be cancelled out here. So x will be coming as half 2L delta L. Delta L value you can plug it in terms of alpha delta theta. So this will be nothing but half into 2L alpha delta t. So if you substitute the student here the values, this value will be coming as 11 centimeter, and that will be the answer for this question. Here displacement you need to find, and this is how we get the displacement, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. The metal rod have the coefficient of linear expansion 1.1 and 1.65. The difference in the length is given as 10 centimeter. You have to calculate their respective initial length, student. So here alpha 1 and alpha 2 are given. Here alpha 1 and alpha 2 are given, right? Coefficient of linear expansion of this and this are given. The difference in the length we have to calculate. So from here what we can conclude here, student, this delta L will be nothing but their initial length L naught 1 plus alpha 2 minus alpha 1 delta t. This is the value. Now if you see here, this initial value, that 10, okay, 1 plus, this can be written as alpha 2, that will be 1.65 into 10 to the power minus 5 minus this, that will be 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay. So if you see here, this L2, this delta L which will be coming here will be L2 minus L1. The difference in the length is 10 centimeter. The difference in the length is 10 centimeter. So this is given as the 10 centimeter. You have to calculate here their respective length, student. So this delta L is nothing but 10 centimeter. Okay. So let's move to the next question, student. Two metal rods of coefficient of linear expansion is given. So two metal rod of their alpha 1 and alpha 2 are given. The difference in the length is 10 centimeter for all the temperatures. So if difference in length is fixed, so we can write, student, that L1 alpha 1 is equals to L2 alpha 2. Okay. So from here what we can write, L1 by L2 will be equals to alpha 2 by alpha 1. Now if you take minus 1 both side, we can write here L2 minus L1 by L1 will be equals to, we can write here L2 minus L1 by L can be written here, this can be written as, just we have reciprocal and take minus 1. So just it will reciprocal, and if you take minus 1 it will be alpha 1 minus alpha 2 by alpha 2 here. So if you simplify this, student, this is given to us, and this is also alpha 1 alpha 2 are also given. So if you simplify here, we are getting that L1 will be 30 centimeter and L2 will be 20 centimeter. That will be the answer for this question, because L2 minus L1 is also given to us as 10. So just substitute the values here, alpha 1, alpha 2 and L1 you need to calculate. So L1 will be coming, and from that we can calculate L2. So this is how you have to proceed. Let's check the next one. A steel scale is correct at 0 degree. The length of the brass tube measured by it at 40 degree is 4.5. the correct length in the tube we have to calculate, student. So if you know delta L, we can write it as L delta T alpha brass minus alpha steel. This is the thing when we used for the correct reading, this is what we used. Now here if you see, alpha brass is given as 19 into 10 to the power minus 6 and alpha steel is given as 11 into 10 to the power minus 6, student, right? The correct length we have to calculate here. So from here if you just substitute the value, what is delta T here? Delta T is 40. So if you substitute the length here, 4.5 into 40, 19 minus 11 into 10 to the power minus 6. This is how you have to proceed. So from here delta L we can calculate and then we will just substitute in the answer. That will be my final answer for this question, right? So this is how you have to proceed. Let's see the next one. The coefficient of linear expansion of a homogeneous rod changes linearly from alpha 1 to alpha 2. See here what is happening. Here I have alpha 1 and here I have alpha 2. I take a small element dl here and this section I am writing it here the alpha n for this one. So if I write here, I can write this variation is x. From x distance I have measured this. So I can write here alpha 1 can be written as alpha 2 minus alpha 1. This is my change in the alpha. Okay, it's the variation over length. I have written this. Similarly, if you see here, if you we can write here in terms of delta L. So this is my net alpha here. So delta L will be what? 0 to L alpha 1 plus alpha 2 minus alpha 1 by L alpha dx dt. This will be my integration, right? So if you see this delta L variation, this is what it will be coming, and this will be coming, this value of overall, it will be coming as, if you simplify this will be nothing but delta L will be equals to alpha L alpha effective delta T. This is what we can equate with. Okay, so whatever L effective will be coming from here is my final answer. So if you just equate it here delta L and put the limits, so delta L will be coming as L alpha 1 plus alpha 2 by 2 delta T. So what is, if we equate this with this value, alpha effective will be coming as, alpha effective student will be coming as alpha 1 plus alpha 2 by 2. So this is my resultant value which will be the answer for this question here, student, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. A steel tape is used to measure the radius of the earth. So I have a steel tape from which I measure this whole earth. So I can write as R0, which is the initial value, it will be 6.4 into 10 to the power minus 6. When the temperature is 0 degree, neglect the expansion, the clearance between the tape and the ground, if the temperature is given, rise to be 30 degree. So delta T is given as 30 degree Celsius. Okay, alpha is given here as 11 into 10 to the power minus 6. My dear student, delta R by R can be written as alpha delta T. Delta R we need to calculate. R0 is given to us. So this delta R will be R0 alpha delta T. Just substitute the value 6.4 into 10 to the power minus 6 into alpha is 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 into delta T. Delta T is 30. So if you substitute all this, this will be coming as 2.1 kilometer, and that will be the answer of the question, student, right? So this is how you have to proceed. Let's see the next section. A solid sphere of radius r and mass m is spinning about a diameter. So the moment of with angular speed omega naught. the temperature is increased. So whenever the temperature is increased, I know that I1 omega 1 will not change. I1 omega 1 can be written as directly proportional to I2 omega 2. So from here what I can write, I1 by I2 will be nothing but omega 2 by omega 1. They are having the inverse relation, and I know moment of inertia is directly proportional to L square. So if moment of inertia is directly proportional to L square, my dear student, I can write delta I will be nothing but I naught 2 alpha delta t. That is I2 can be written as I1 plus this will be my delta in I1 2 alpha delta t. This will be my change. This will be my change, right? So if I know this, the ratio of angular speed I have to calculate. So I2 I know, I1 I know. So I can write here the ratio I1 by I2. So I can write here I1 by I2. This can be written in terms of, this can be written in terms of angular speed at 100 degree, the ratio of angular speed at 100 and omega naught. So means we have to calculate omega 2 by omega 1. So this ratio will be omega 2 by omega 1, and this ratio when we will simplify this, just you have to substitute the I and omega alpha values here. All the values, if you substitute, this is given, alpha is given, I is the initial one, and delta t is given. So what is given values here? The given values are alpha is 2 into 10 to the power minus 4, which you will substitute here, and delta t is 100, which you will substitute here. So alpha you substitute, delta t you substitute, this difference when you will solve, it will be coming as 1 by 1.04. So that will be the answer of this question, right? So this is how you have to proceed, student. Let's move to the next one. A clock with a metallic pendulum at 15 degree move faster by 5 seconds each day, and 30 degree runs slower by 10 seconds each day. So we know that delta t by t, that is the variation in time period. Variation in time period, my dear student, will be nothing but half alpha delta t capital. This is the variation in temperature. This t is 24 hour, so we will convert this into second. So this is given for first case, case 1, 5 by 24 into 60 into 60 will be equals to half alpha value we have to calculate. So half into alpha into t minus 15. I name this as equation 1. For case 2, student, it will be minus 10 by 24 into 60 into 60 will be equals to half alpha t minus 30. I name this as equation 2. Divide this two equation, we will get t as 20 degrees Celsius. Substitute in equation 1. You will get the alpha value here, student, and you equate this alpha with this given value, you will get the value of k here. Okay, so k value you have to get it from here. Just substitute alpha here in this one, you will get the value of k here for this question, right? So let's move to the next one here. Two rods of same mass and same length but have different coefficient of expansion alpha and 3 alpha. So this is given as L naught, alpha and 3 alpha. Their joint system is placed on a frictionless surface if the temperature of the whole system is increased. Now if this whole system temperature I am hitting it, the displacement of the junction point. So this let the displacement be x. So if this displacement is x, I know that the net external force on this will be 0, so net displacement can be equated with 0, and so whatever displacement on this side can be equated with this side. So I just equated the two relationship here, right? My dear student, from here we have to get the value of x. So let's simplify this. M can be cancelled both side, L naught by t can be cancelled both side. We have to calculate for x here. So if you simplify this, this x will come this side, so it will be 2x. Okay, this x will come this side, it will 2x, and if you write here, 1 and minus 1 can be cancelled out here. Okay, 1 and minus 1 can be cancelled out here. So what value we are getting? We are getting this 2x will be equals to L naught, this L naught alpha delta t. So from here x will be equals to L naught alpha delta t by 2, and that will be my required answer for this question here, right? So just simplify this. This L naught was initial value which we have cancelled it. It will multiply with this alpha delta t, right? So just be careful on the calculation part. X we have to calculate here, right? So whatever the expansion plus this displacement, I have done this expansion plus this displacement, right? So let's proceed to the next one here. Two rods of length L1 and L2, they are made of the coefficient of expansion alpha 1 and alpha 2, and in the question it is given that L1 alpha 1 is equals to alpha 2. Okay, it means that the temperature, this relation, if you remember, this is the temperature relation which says that the difference in the length is constant and it is independent of rise in temperature. So whatever will be the rise in temperature, that it will be equals to this one. So from here we can write, if L1 alpha 1 is equals to L2 alpha 2, from here I can write L1 by L2 will be equals to alpha 2 by alpha 1. Okay, so we know that if I do minus 1 both side, I can write it as delta L will be nothing but L naught alpha delta t. Delta L1 will be nothing but L1 alpha delta t. Similarly, delta L2 will be nothing but L2 alpha 2 delta t. Delta t is same for here. So if I equate this, I am getting delta L1 will also equal to delta L2. So both this are correct, right? So let's move to the next one now. The figure shows a cylindrical tube of radius r and length L. The frictional coefficient between the cork and tube is mu. The tube contains an ideal gas and the temperature and atmospheric pressures are given. So student, we know that if P1 V1 by T1 is equals to P2 V2 by T2, here V's are same, so we can cancel out here this two thing. We can write here that P1 by P2 will be nothing but T1 by T2. We have to calculate here the student the value of P2, because when the temperature is doubled, so we can get the value of T2 here. T2 is doubled, so 2T1, P1 by P2. So from here, if T1 will be cancelled out here, so what we are getting, P2 will be nothing but 2P1, right? Now student, if you just see this diagram and if you balance the forces here, we can write from diagram, if you just balance the forces P naught A plus this mu n will be equals to 2 P naught A. Yes, just now we got the value here. So if you see here, if you simplify this, from here what we are getting, mu n will be nothing but P naught A. So n will be nothing but P naught A by mu. N value we got. What they are asking, normal force per unit length. So normal force per unit length will be dN by dl, and this will be nothing but n by 2 pi r. Okay, n already we have, so just substitute the value P naught A by mu 2 pi r. Okay, so from here if we equate the value, x is nothing but 2, that will be the x will nothing but 4, because under root they are asking, na? So under root x will be coming nothing but 4, right? Just be careful on this calculation part, right? So let's move to the next one. 3 rods A, B, C are at equilateral triangle here. So equilateral triangle, so theta will be 60 degrees, student. There they are given. So for L1 we can write, this is my rod length L1, so L1 will be AB, L2 will be AC, and L3 will be L3 will be AC. Okay, L3 is AC and BC will be L2. Okay, this is my value. Now, if you see here, I can write cos theta from here as L2 square plus L1 square minus L3 square by 2L1. Cosine rule I am applying it here. Now differentiate this, so we will get d theta as this one. L3 minus L2 plus this, right? My dear student, delta L3 from here you know that if alpha 1 is the expansion, so delta L1 will be nothing but L1 alpha delta T. Similarly, delta L2 will be nothing but L2 alpha 2 delta T. Similarly, delta 3 will be nothing but L3 alpha 3 delta T. Right? If you substitute all this value here, what we will get? D theta we can write it here. Delta L1, delta L2 values all are given here. So, and cos theta value here it is nothing but 60 degree. So, just substitute here L sin 60. Delta L1 is nothing but L1 alpha 1 delta T minus delta L3 I have to write. So, L3 alpha 3 minus L1 alpha 1 delta T, right, minus L2 alpha 2 delta T plus cos theta. So, cos theta is cos 60 delta L1 plus delta L2. So, delta L1 will be L1 alpha 1 delta T plus L2 alpha 2 delta T. If you substitute all this value here, student, we will get that the change in the angle, this d theta, the change in the angle here, this change in the angle d theta can be written as in terms of the change in the angle. This can be written in terms of this one as root 3 by 2 d theta, this d theta is nothing but dt by alpha 2 minus alpha 1. If you substitute all this value, so here they are asking you the value of P and Q. So, P is coming as 3 and Q is coming as 2. So, P into Q will be nothing but 3 into 2, that will be 6, and that will be the answer of this question here, student. So, this is how you have to proceed on this part. The next question, if you see, the temperature of a compensated pendulum is designed for the change in length is this one. One of such pendulum, it consists of an isosceles triangle. So, whatever will be the length L2, this will also be L2. So, this will be alpha 2, this will be also be alpha 2. The ratio of L1 by L2 you have to calculate here, student. So, if you see here, this if I write H can be written as nothing but L1 by 2 whole square minus this H can be written as nothing but this is height. So, this will be nothing but L2 square, that is hypotenuse L2 square minus L1 by 2 whole square, right, Pythagoras by Pythagoras. Now, this is my H, and if I increase the temperature, H dash will be nothing but L2 1 plus alpha 2 delta T whole square minus L1 1 plus alpha 1 delta T by this whole by 2. Yes. So, if you equate here, student, this H dash is equal to H. So, I can write here L2 square minus L1 by 2 whole square will be nothing but this whole L2 1 plus alpha 2 delta T whole square minus of this L1 by 2 1 plus alpha 1 delta T whole square, right? So this is for expansion of this one. So by using binomial we can write this root will cancel out first of all. This can be written as L2 1 plus 2 alpha 2 delta t, my dear student, using binomial. And similarly I can write here L1 by 2 1 plus 2 alpha 1 delta t using binomial, right? This is whole square. So this will be L1 square by 4. Okay, so this whole was the square here. So this whole was square here. So this L2 square and L1 square here will be cancelled out here. So if you simplify this from here, L1 by L2 will be coming as nothing but 2 root alpha 2 minus alpha 1. So what is the value of P? P will be nothing but 2, and that will be my required answer for this question here, student. So this is how you have to proceed on this part. So student, here we analyzed all the thermal expansion, linear expansion here. If you analyze each and every question properly, it is conceptually selected for your understanding of the overall thermal expansion. So that's all for today. Thank you.